What's up, everyone? Just wanted to go over these trades I took today. They were both losers. Actually, I took three, so they were all losers. But on two names, some very important lessons to be learned here. That is for sure. I had a very tough day. We all have tough days, and figured, might as well make this into a lesson and figure out how to learn from your mistakes. This one I actually wasn't too upset with. It was a small loss and for a big reward. Pretty much I entered here right around this 11:25 candle, um, and pretty much what happened was saw that volume was coming in. I saw that we broke this kind of trend line. If you can see it right here, looked like a little mini trend line. I'll draw it for you real quick. Looked like this little trend line. We broke this, and I was feeling good. I may have gotten a little too late, but that's okay. So I got in right around here, and I was targeting right around this 5-minute demand at 243. I was going to wait to see how we reacted, and then look to take profits right around VWAP, which was about here at the time. And that just didn't work out. And I got stopped out right on this candle, and for a small $11 loss. And wasn't the worst thing that could have happened, but uh, yeah, it was just a trade that didn't work out. Maybe I should have waited for a little bit more volume for that RVOL to spike fully. This might have been an even better entry, um, coming down here and then putting a stop back up here. I don't really know, but my entry could have been slightly better, but I was pretty happy with this entry overall. Remember, you don't have to be the first one in; you just have to be the one that gets it right and makes the money. But we didn't get it right here, but I was still happy with this trade. We managed it well, followed plan. Um, really enjoyed this trade for sure. And then the other trade, in terms of options that I took, was on Microsoft. Really, 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 really good trade. Um, just did not stick to plan, which is what cost me. And this is something that I seriously need to work on. And yeah, it was, did not go as planned. Let me just turn extended hours off just real quick so you can see the RVOL. And where are we? Okay. And I entered high daybreak at 240. That was the price. We wanted to see over 240. Didn't get in here because I just didn't like it. NQ was kind of weird. But then all of a sudden we see this nice break, and I entered right here with some great volume here. You can see the RVOL went crazy. Awesome volume down here at 12. And the target I had was 242, and my stop was 240.4. And as you can see, I got out at 240.5, and that really, actually, no, I got out at 240.44. That was the official close, and it hit 240.43. So it never really hit my stop loss, which was, and if I held, I would have made up here and would have made 50% on the contracts, which would have been really nice. And I just didn't stick to plan, which was a huge mistake on my part and just a lesson learned. And overall, I was pretty happy with this trade. It was a high of daybreak, volume increasing, RVOL going off, volume coming in. This would have been another great entry right down here. It's a retest of the high of daybreak. Um, not the best volume, but still decent volume here with buying pressure. These wicks indicate buying pressure. Could have, easily gotten back in here with the same stop. I didn't. I was sulking, and I was, be like, oh my goodness, why did I stop out? The price is going back up. And I should have taken this time to say, hey, I can get back in here and still, push for another dollar, which is what I should have done, but that didn't happen. And then I made a very, very uh, rookie mistake. It was, not good. I entered here, I'll show real quick, at this high daybreak. And, I was like, it was revenge trading. Emotions got best of me, and I took over here at this high daybreak, and I saw this red candle coming immediately, and I got stopped out here. And I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? And that big move costed me a ton because at this point, premiums were moving. Microsoft had a ton of volume. Retail traders were like, oh my goodness, Microsoft's moving now. It's going all the way up to 1,000, not actually, but you get the idea. Premiums were expensive. So I lost more than I did here than, here, even though it looks break even. But this is literally, a 20-cent drop, and I lost like 22 bucks on it, it was, or something like that, plus commission, and I obviously should have held until below this candle, and that didn't happen either, and I would have made money on this one as well if I stuck to the plan, but I didn't, and it's just a great lesson to learn, which is awesome. So, I lost a bit of money, but, education comes with a price, and that's the lessons I learned from the options today. Here are some of the futures trades that I took that I was not too happy about. It seemed like it was just pretty excited to play some futures. So here's what happened. I took a trade here. We came into a demand zone here. Pretend there's a demand zone here. And there's this huge ARVL spike, volume spike. I'm just thinking, oh yeah, this thing's going to reverse. It's feeling pretty good. I got up here. My target was 53. And obviously it didn't happen. I got stopped out here for a $100 loss. Not terrible, not great, but here's the main lesson that needs to be learned. If I look at the 15-minute chart, this is a clear falling knife here. It just fell. What I should have done is on a 5-minute chart, if that was my entry, should have waited for a bounce, come up here, let's say, and then come back here and wait for another bounce, the retest. This is a falling knife. Look at all these red candles. Wait for the retest and take a much higher probability trade than this, which is pure guessing. You don't want to do this. It's a lesson that I'm happy to finally put into my skull, that it's clear, this is, it dumped. Why are you trying to catch a falling knife? I don't know. So I'd rather miss this trade 10 times out of 10 than take a trade that has, a low probability of working out. Whereas, let's say it comes up here and it falls back down. Well, I'm getting in here, and that's, I'm much happier with that trade, given proper confirmation. That didn't happen, so that was no good. The next trade I took was on GC, which, same story. It was very dumb. Price came into demand here. This is where I entered at the gold arrow. Like I said, again, ARVL was going off, volume coming in. Clearly, it's going to reverse. My target was this orange line here, this yellow line-ish. That didn't happen. I ended up getting stopped out for a nice $300 loss, which is not great. So I wasn't happy about that, but a good lesson to learn here. And if you look at the 15-minute chart again, it's clear this is just a falling knife. No point in catching a falling knife. What I should have done here is, again, wait for this spring up and the retest, somewhere around here and to the upside, and that would have been a much better trade. So lesson learned, don't catch falling knives, or don't step in front of a train. Always wait for the retest. You're better off missing a trade than losing the trade. Honestly, you're better off missing the trade and not entering, even if it does work out, because that's kind of a gamble there. We don't take gambles, or at least I don't. YM was probably the best trade of the three on the futures plays, and here's why. We came into a supply zone. Wasn't the best looking supply zone, but it was, not bad. I entered here. There was a nice engulfing candle. It broke this trend, and yeah, it broke this trend, which was right here. So great, we're coming down. I was riding it all the way to 3,700 and didn't get hit there. But overall, good managed trade. So happy with that one.